This Momo Monday is special because tonight is the first night of the 8-day festival of Passover. Well, 7, kind of 8. You don't need to know that. Passover commemorates the liberation of the Jewish slaves in ancient Egypt. Even though there's some argument over the historical accuracy of the stories, and it's unlikely that anyone involved looked like Charlton Heston. Anyway, no matter what you believe, Momo thinks that Passover is a good time to reflect on how far the world has come in terms of freedom and human rights. And it's a good time to realize that there's still work to do in places around the world. In places where people are oppressed by tyrannical governments, poverty, and war, the hope of a future of freedom is very important. Passover starts with spring cleaning on steroids. Every drawer and cupboard needs to be cleaned to remove chametz, the Hebrew word for leavened bread. That chametz then needs to be thrown out, given away, or sold. For 7 or 8 days, depending on what you believe, nothing with chametz can come into the house, except our cat food and Loki's dog food, proving the supremacy of pets over humans. Momo made me read that. He also made me read, "We're cats. We don't need anyone to teach us about the importance of free will." The Seder, or the Passover meal, is the ritual that begins Passover. It tells the story of the Jews being allowed to leave Egypt so Moses can lead them to Mount Sinai and the land of Canaan. The Seder has 4 main requirements: eating unleavened bread called matzah, which is disgusting, eating bitter herbs, which is also disgusting, and drinking 4 cups of wine to forget that the first 2 parts are disgusting. The 4th main part of the Seder is the reading of the Haggadah, which fulfills the commandment to tell the story of the Exodus to our children so that the values of freedom and humility are not forgotten. The Haggadah includes the Seder plate, with the symbols that represent key parts of the story. An animal bone to symbolize the Passover sacrifice. Sorry, vegans. The egg, again, sorry vegans, which is usually eaten with salt water to symbolize tears and the cycle of life. The bitter herbs, called Maror, which symbolize the bitterness of slavery. A paste of fruit, nuts, and wine called Charoset, which symbolizes the mortar and brick made by Jews, allegedly, when they were working for the man. And a green vegetable, customarily parsley, called karpas. There's a few conflicting meanings for this one. Some say that greens rising in the spring is a symbol of hope. Others say the karpas is another symbol of how much things sucked. So let's just say that it's important to eat your veggies. An important part of the Haggadah is spilling a portion of wine while reciting the names of the 10 plagues that passed over the Jewish families while afflicting the Egyptians. Those plagues were water into blood, frogs, lice, an attack by wild animals, diseased livestock, boils, hail, locusts, not the Gears of War kind, 3 days of darkness, not the video game kind either, and the death of the firstborn son. The wine is spilled because we're not supposed to be happy that these bad things happened to the Egyptian people, even though they led to the freedom of the Jewish people. There are 4 cups of wine because there are 4 houses in Harry Potter. Just kidding. I bet some of you believe that. No, seriously, the number 4 is really important in Judaism. The name of God is abbreviated to 4 letters, called the Tetragrammaton, which is a cool name because it sounds like a transformer. There are 4 parts of the Passover Seder and 4 questions, read by 4 types of children. But the details of the ritual are less important than the meaning of Passover. Freedom, equality, religious tolerance, and accountable government. These are messages that all people can share in, and that's good.
Mwah. Yeah.